Hello, everyone. So today I'll be talking about Games of Thrones. Really good HBO series. Um, uh, yeah, and there are a variety of different types of leaders within this storyline, which I thought would be kind of entertaining to analyze their different leadership styles. So just a little kind of like overview or summary about the Games of Thrones. It's an HBO series. Games of Thrones has become well known for its controversial themes. Kings and queens and knights and rebels all play a deadly game to gain control of the seven kingdoms of Westeros and sit upon the Iron Throne. 8 years later, and it's safe to say that the series would be nothing without its leaders. And it's just like the real world, these leaders can come in all shapes and sizes. So the link that I have right there, feel free to tap on it, but I'll also put it under the discussion post. It's basically a 2-minute overview about the series. It's very quick. And because the storyline is a bit complicated, there are multiple different stories going on within the series. But essentially, if we were to pick two important things, uh, is that that most of these monarchs, I should say, are 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 striving to gain the Iron Throne. It's not everyone's motive, um, but it is a couple um, of uh, kings and queens that are trying to get to the Iron Throne. But then there's also an alluring kind of situation that will affect them all. Um, and so please, please do watch that video so you can get a better sense of what I'm talking about and the characters. But I will just be analyzing the different characters and their leadership styles. Um, so we have Cersei Lannister. So Cersei Lannister would be considered, in my opinion, an autocratic leader. An autocratic leader is one who dictates all policies and procedures. Employees and team members have no say typically in how things are done or gone about and are expected to follow the commands and control the leader. Cersei Lannister would be classified as that type of leader, in my opinion. She decides to rule and demands that everyone follow her commands. And she was very relentless. She killed her husband, King Robert, I believe, to gain control. And she killed Ned Stark, who was the king of the North, and friends of Robert, her husband. Um, she also there's reason to believe that she did this because she had relations and was in a relationship with her own brother. I forget his, but he was another Lannister. Um, and she just over the years started to hate her husband, King Robert. But I truly believe it was a couple of things, is that she did have kind of that kind of dictator spirit in her. I believe she's the only female. And that, not that that's associated with anything, but um throughout her storyline, you could see that it's something that she's always kind of wanted, is to take that leadership role. And so she pretty much manipulates and controls things in order to get what she needs. So she, unfortunately, she wanted to be essentially like she wanted her son to rule, but she also wanted to be with her lover, which was her brother. And so she also casted, and I didn't make this a bullet point, her brother, who we will talk about, I believe on the last slide, Tyrion Lannister. She also shifted blame on him when her son actually ended up getting poisoned and casting him, and I think to a duel, a life or death duel, and her lover, her brother, actually ended up rescuing Tyrion Lannister, and he ended up being able to escape. But what I believe the reason why she put blame on him, even though Tyrion Lannister had nothing to do with her son's death, was because he found out that she was having relations with their brother, and so she was in fear that would come out. And so you can see Cersei is very manipulative, and what she says goes. And she was able to kind of dictate things behind the scenes, with no questions asked. And clearly all of these things came to pass. And so I would consider her a dictator, but she would follow under an autocratic leader. What I say goes, or you would goner. So then we have Jon Snow, who was another protagonist, and he'd be considered a democratic leader. This type of leader is the one that takes on board what other people have to say. A democratic leader allows and even encourages others to participate in decision making. And so I would say that Jon Snow was one of the protagonists, and he was always willing, in my opinion, to be able to hear the cry of his people, or to his family, to say the least. He is the son of Ned Stark, the bastard son of Ned Stark. And like I said, guys, watch that 2-minute video, and you'll be able to understand kind of the different characters. But basically, after his father's death, he because he was a bastard, did not feel safe or comfortable with taking leadership. And so I think leadership went, the throne went to his sister, Sansa. But he did hear rumors about these monsters called White Walkers behind the wall. And so Jon, because he was concerned about the people, he joined the Night Watch to protect his father's castle, his community, from the White Walkers. And he later on came back to Westeros, Winterfell, I apologize, because it was being taken from them. Then his family, He went alongside his sister Sansa and was able to win back Winterfell and was named the king of the North. And so I say this to say that in my belief, any generally any successful leader uh, um, is someone who adopts to kind of like a democratic approach. So he was not only able to listen to the people, but he also was able to take initiative um, and work alongside his sister and other siblings in order to protect um, his castle, his family's castle, and overall the North um, from danger. He was also later able to later on in the series able to convince other I would say I wouldn't say tribes, but different families and different around Westeros and villages to fight against not each other, but the real enemies, which were the White Walkers. So lastly, we have Tyrion Lannister. This was a fan favorite, and he had more of a coaching style, a way of leading. This leadership style is about helping others to improve themselves and achieve their goals. There are there to provide guidance and counsel. This leadership style can only work if the follower is open to being advised. This style can be seen as Tyrion Lannister and his relationship with Daenerys Targaryen, and he provides her with knowledge and guidance when he seeks it. He is well respected and his advice is highly regarded. So if you remember back to what I said earlier about his sister pretty much kind of wanted him dead, and his brother was able to kind of release him from jail and he escaped. And so he ended up escaping to another country or another region and leading and helping out Daenerys Targaryen. This was another woman who was basically had a rightful shot at the throne, but was not well versed in how to be a queen and how to lead. And so what Daenerys Targaryen, what Tyrion did is he kind of put her under his wings and taught her from like how he grew up. He grew up around kings and queens. His father was the king, and was able to kind of just teach her how to be a queen and be her. I would say her counsel. I should say. He was not only intelligent and well respected by the queen, but was like her right hand man. And all that to say is that, like I said, guys, go back to please press this link. It's a 2-minute video on just kind of the synopsis of Games of Thrones or the plot of Games of Thrones. It's a little complicated, but you have Cersei, who's more of an autocratic leader. You have Jon Snow, who's a more democratic leader, and then you have Tyrion Lannister, who is more of a coach, who plays more of a coaching role to Daenerys Targaryen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm a big fan of Games of Thrones. Hope you all are too. If you're not too confused, I will see you guys soon.